Hello. All right, here we are. So I think I want to work on testing. I think I want to work on testing. I read up on this like stubborn, which seems cool. It's pretty minimal. Um, but I think I don't know. Like ham jest looks like jest. Oh, it's by the same author, huh? Based on ham crest. Oh, neat. Oops. Get out of there. Yeah, I feel like I just want to build something like RSpec. I think it seems like a fun exercise. It'll help me understand things better. I think a spec-style approach is how I like to think about things. So let's talk about specking. So like, what's like an ideal test gonna look like? Come on. So I feel like, I don't know, I want to say like describe. I think what's like attainable in J is gonna look something like this. It'll be like describe, I don't know, let's say, what's like a test that I've got? Sure, like strings. This could work, right? Strings. J. I don't know if I even need more. I might be able to just do like this. I'll sneak in a code because I bet we won't be able to just have like large unbounded expressions in here. And then I want to say like it. I don't know. Let's say like describe has prefix. And then what? What do I want to say? Like, right. So I have like a few of these, right? So like context, like it. Oh, let's try like the features that I really care about in RSpec are like let and before and after. I don't know. Let's go like pie in the sky, right? Like what's the ideal thing that we want here? Is like I want to like let source be hello. I guess yeah. I'm trying to just like convert this into the test that I want. So context. Like, I don't know if I even need context for this, right? So like it rejects when, or it like, I don't know. Let's like do exactly what I would do in Ruby. I'd say context when the prefix, when like with an actual, with a valid prefix. And here I want to like expect has prefix hello hell to equal to like be true. Yeah, that's like about what I would do in Ruby. I don't know like how much this like syntax is helping. But yeah, let's just like stick around with this for a bit and say, let's say with an with like an invalid prefix, expect hello, hi, Oh, and that's something here, right? So like this, I guess, will be, I don't think I need this let. Oops. Invalid prefix, hello hi to be false. Maybe I'll just like EQ equal true. That seems maybe better. It seems like equality is really what we do in this language. Equal false. And then with a prefix longer than the initial string, which is this third one, which felt like an important error case to cover, to equal false. Yeah, okay. So I think this is like the kind of syntax I'd like. Maybe I'll just like go for it and save this in a spec file. Alright, so I got this here. Yeah, okay. I think that makes sense for that to go here. I don't know, I feel like another thing that I'm curious about is like auto-loading. But that seems hard to do in this language because we're not super structured. Like auto-loading, as I'm familiar with it, I mean, I think about it because this is sort of a bummer. And I wonder if, like, for specs, we should by default load like the corresponding like file in the source directory, or I think this is like fine. Okay, and then I want to describe. Let's just like leave it at that for now. Okay, and I don't like this dot. I kind of like underscore. Just make it like English. Is a little. Just like follow RSpec directly. I think I do like the dot. I'm doing the dot. I'm going with it. Okay. So I think I want like a run.j in here. And I think like the way that I'd like this to work is in my build, I can load this. And then I'll somehow like trigger in here to like do it, you know? What's this pattern? It's like the recommendation in stubborn is like I kind of feel like what I probably want to do is right, like load this in workspace with no output type. Configure it to be the same as this workspace with the same initial setup. And then just like walk all the spec files, add them all. Right, yeah, let's try it. Run specs run on target workspace, I guess. Is a workspace like a, yeah. Alright, so specs run workspace. Okay, so we're going to create a new workspace. going to get the options from the initial workspace. Does this take a workspace in it? Can it take a workspace? Yeah, okay, cool. So, target workspace, options, because that, maybe I'll just call it like build options. Let's call this like workspace like under test. Okay, so the specs workspace name is going to be is there like get name? Get name, cool. That's all I want. Okay, and then I otherwise probably need to maintain the same build options though. But I'll call this like specs workspace. It's going to be create compiler, create workspace of specs workspace name. Alright, we've got a clean workspace. We're copying the build options over. We want the output type to be none. Is it like no output? Yeah. And that does nothing. That will leave the same, and we'll just set those build options. That sounds cool. Alright, but this is now going to be specs workspace options, and set that. Okay. And I think all we really want to do, so we want to like add build file. So I guess we want to like traverse the entire spec directory and add everything that ends in .spec, I guess. But maybe first I need to add like a base. I'll get back to that. And maybe I'll like create like a separate, I feel like I have two concerns here really, and one is like a JSpec concept, which includes like this base and this run. Let me get these out of here. And these will get like included, and like the spec directory within the project is like a different concept, right? So this is going to be like stuff that will become the eventual library, similar to like this business, and maybe like the concept of a repo might become an eventual library down the road. But like, yeah, I like that. Okay, so add build file. No, build. Here. I think I'm gonna need to do this too. And is that gonna be a problem that the mains are gonna conflict? I don't think it'll be a problem. I think it'll be fine. Okay. Oh, you know what I think will be weird is that I bet for like anything like this to happen, we might need to like throw in a compiler directive. It might get weird. Might get weird, might not get weird. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because there's some questions about like, so is the goal is to emit an executable that if you run it, it means you've run the tests, in which case you'd run like, you know, production optimized, even maybe code and stuff. Or what I would have expected would be to just have this like a successful run of the workspace, just to be like you made it through all the specs and it's fine. And I think I want the latter. I think I want it to be the latter. Okay. Think this through. Right, and if it's just run as part of a compiler operation, we really don't have to worry about conflicting main definitions or anything. I think we're fine. Yeah, so let's... I don't know, do we even care about this? Like, I think we just want to wait for... Yeah, I think we're fine. Do we need to begin intercept and stuff? I don't know, I feel like probably. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make this like a blocking operation. To like make sure we've done all the tests until we've made it to complete. And we need to add these two specs. Oops, two specs workspace. Yeah. That's not syntax. That's Ruby syntax. That's right. Okay. And then here, I want to end intercept on specs workspace. And we're done. Great. Okay. Great. So now, so we've added source main, and we need this base. Okay, so now there's like a tricky choice here. Where do we have base? Okay, so like the two options are either, like at some point we're gonna need to like walk this like spec directory tree, like find all the specs and run them. And do we do that here, which might be a little bit nicer because we're outside the workspace, or here, where while we're compiling ourselves, we like ls into the work. That seems like a bad idea. I think we want to do, from here, we're going to traverse the spec directory and add all those files. That seems like a good move. Seems like a good move. I wonder what kind of like file utils we've got. File? Does it have file open, move, link, read, length, make directory helper, delete directory, seek. None of those are helpful. Is file utilities good? Module, sure, Unix, visit directories, visit files. Is this what we want? This might be what we want. What else have we got? That's all. No. File exists. Does this take like a proc? It's gonna be kind of a bummer. Oh, I see. Yeah, because you define the proc right here and then let it run. It's all constant. No closures. Okay. I guess everything is gonna have to be constant. I guess that's not so bad. What? copy file, file list. Oh, cool, okay. Path, recursive, follow symlinks, great. And this does this for me in a manageable way, yeah? User data, oh man, I kinda hate this. Yikes. What? Oh, what a pattern. So instead of supporting closures, we're gonna like auto capture our own business this way? I don't know about this language. That seems like the kind of thing, like why is this better? Whatever. Okay. We have user data, which we cast to the string, a dynamic string array. This is gonna happen. File list is great. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Looks like file list does what we want. Make sure that I've got file utilities. Let's just like print it out. Alright, the path is spec. Recursive is true. Follow symlinks is false, I want to say. Great. And let's just see what happens if we run this. I'm in the wrong spot. Great, great, okay. Unable to open spec run, right, I moved that. This to be in JSpec. Parse the declaration, saw this instead. Specs run. That, what's wrong here? Is it not import? It is import. File utilities, file utilities. What? Cool. All right. We found our spec file. Okay. Great. So, well, this is gonna be tricky. I would love for this. So this first, this first like spec that I'm writing is on my string utilities, and I would love it if I could use some string utilities to filter the files to only include the ones here that end in .spec.j, but it's not gonna happen. Okay, so let me just like hard code a little bit of that for now. So for file, if file dot count is less than, right, because these are just strings. Okay, so like suffix is gonna equal dot spec.j. Spec file suffix is that. So if it's less than spec file suffix dot count, then like next. Maybe if it's just like not even equal, like for, or yeah, for character in file, if character is not equal to spec file suffix character index, Ooh, right, this is the tricky part. Okay, so file account is less than or equal to that, then next. So that means that we could have like an a.spec.j and that would be fine, but if we can't just have a .spec.j, I like that plan. Okay, so, but this we really want to use in spec file suffix, and then if the character is not, or yeah, okay, so let's say file, like, non-suffix, file name length, pre-suffix file name length is going to be file.count minus spec file suffix dot count. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so for each of these, if the character in the suffix that we want is not equal to pre-suffix file name length at that index plus the pre-suffix file name length, yeah, then next file. Okay, and if we made it here, then this file is good, in which case we want to add build file on file in specs workspace. Cool. And now if I build, it should blow up because who in the world knows what describe is? Dang. This looks like a C-style declaration. No, that's not quite right. Okay. Let's go for, I don't know, file name suffix character is going to get that. So if character is not next to file name suffix character, let's go with like actual suffix character. This will be like spec. Alright, so if those aren't equal, and that. If those aren't equal, then like next file. Oh, it's continue, isn't it? How did count get all caps? What's that doing there? What is this going to be in .characters? Oh, that's right. This is always uglier. I really want to say for that is 0 to spec file suffix dot count minus 1. Spec file suffix character is going to be spec file suffix. Okay, great. Specs run. I failed to close something? $27. Hmm? Isn't this a thing? Dot dot? Done dot dot? Oh, I see. Whoops. Alright, what's actually happening here? Attempt to subscript a non-array. This shouldn't be length. This should just be file. This should be just suffix character. Shouldn't that have blown up? Oh yeah, this one can fail and it's just fine now. String spec line 6. What? Error. Closing paren expected. Why? Huh? That shouldn't need a paren. Maybe these braces will help. That looks slightly closer. Yeah, okay. I needed curly braces. That was it. Alright. Cool. Got it. Alright, describe doesn't exist. Let me bring these back to their former glory slightly. Cool. Undeclared identifier describe is great. Okay, so now in base, which here, am I including base? No, but yes, great, okay. So describe is going to be something. It'll almost certainly have to expand. And what do I want to do here? I want to take like a name and a body. Cool. How exactly do I want this to work? I wonder if inside a macro I can like ask if there's like a definition of something. It's gonna be like scopes or macros or actually let me pause for a second. I'm gonna take a 2-second break. Quick human bio break. BRB. All right, I'm back. Okay, so for this, I need describe to happen. It's gonna have a code. I'm obviously gonna have to insert body, but it's almost like I want to like inspect like okay. So what I might want to do is define like this is what I should do here. Define what describe means, and say that it's gonna be yeah, cool. So there's gonna be some describe like root, and then there's gonna be some like internal describe. I like that. Nested describe. Cool. And so this is going to talk about like when we're describing something we care about. There's going to be like some expectations to run, some stuff to happen. We're going to build up a data structure of like what are the expectations. Oh, and I think I need like an it, right? Yeah. This has to be an it is false. This has to be it is false. Okay. Great. So what are the expectations we care about, which is basically the its. And then like as we run them, how they go. And then there's probably some like global like some like global list of these, and like we're gonna like run like at the very end of everything we're gonna like do this all, which we probably need to sneak into run like I don't know, after we've added all those build files, probably add like a build like I don't know, string of like run, I don't know, let's call it verify. Which will like do something. Okay, and so generally I'm thinking it seems like a reasonable thing that might work. All right, so what does it describe? It's got like a name. It's got, I don't even know what it has. Some like nested contexts. Like more describes. I think I'm gonna initially just do this all. I think that okay, the specs verify thing is cute, but I think it's not the move. I think that's like a next iteration, right? Okay, so for think about better testing. Like for now, it's just like imperatively run on procedurally run tests until one fails, and then later like run all the tests, report all errors each time. Which like this distinction is like super useful in designing like a more mature testing library. But I think for these tests that I'm writing for myself right now, I think that getting like something out the door in terms of like being able to run some tests at all with this like clever syntax seems like a hard enough lift that I'll just do that first and just like run all this stuff. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, so this describe is going to just like actually do assert business. That sounds great. Okay, so I don't need to care about this as much. I'll just say that like internally here, describe is now called nested describe. What are the other contexts is also just going to be the same. It's like not different at all right now. Do I use anything else? I have an it, which I'll just call that, I guess. I don't know if I even need this one right now. I'm going to cut that for now. So describe is just always this top level thing. Context is the same as describe for now. Okay. And then like expect is really like the cool thing. Right? Okay, yeah. Great. So like what am I doing here? In order to make this work, maybe I'm not going to worry about these names at all quite yet. And I'll just EQ is going to be some like this. And then let's see. I haven't even thought about how this code would work. I feel like for now 2 is like nothing. Maybe I'll just call this like 2 equal. It seems like nicer. And then, man, I do feel like static. No, we can't quite use static dispatch for this, can we? Because like that'll result in like a full-on build error if types don't line up, which isn't what we want really. Will it? I don't know. Let's like define. Oops. Does this work? Can we say like that, and we'll say if like value is not equal to equal matcher dot t return false. If and then like return value equals matcher dot value. I don't know. Is that even like close to something? Yeah, maybe this is something. Alright, so for this 2 equal matcher, I'll just like return a 2. I'll do this of t and then result of value. Actually, you know what? They said that they like fixed some like generic type struct literal business. Maybe I can just like do this. I don't know. That'd be neat. That'd be like slightly more concise. Okay, and so then this expect is going to take this matcher, and I guess, I don't know, do I feel good about how this is how we implement matchers, is with like overloading expect to take it? Maybe that works. Maybe that's fine. Okay. Then I don't really need this anymore, do I? Great. Okay, so maybe I'll define expect. What do I want to do? Let me like do these as asserts for now. Yeah, why not, right? Okay, assert the types are the same, assert the values are the same. Yeah, okay, so then what all symbols do we need? We have a describe, which is now defined. We have context, which is not. Although, like, yeah, it is. But I feel like I'd rather just say that. All these things are just like global. What a weird, I feel like this framework does nothing. Do I need semicolons here? Always forgetting semicolons. Oh yeah, context is like a really important word in this language, so I shouldn't say that. I don't know. It's just, we only have describe. Okay, T is a type. Oh. Okay, cool. Attempt to open subblock at global scope, not yet supported. Yeah, I thought so. Why do I do that? Get that out of here. Okay. Struct literals are confusing to me still. Okay, and can I get like a failure? What does a failure look like? Default assertion failed. Great. And this one did not. Okay. And it's on strings.spec.line 15. That's what I wanted. And what if I say like bananas? Will it give me the correct failure? Type mismatch. Yeah, I see. What? What? It won't even build in this case. I don't know, maybe that's a good thing? That's not a great thing, because I'd really love to be able to run all the tests. Although, maybe this is like user error in defining the tests. So, it's like, you know, let's go for it. Why not? Want a bool got string. Yeah, that seems fine. You can't even write a test if your code is broken this way. Cool. Okay, I like it. This seems fine. All right. Great. And then, man, I still feel like this should return. I don't know if we want to just like assert. That seems like it's gonna break the whole workspace in a way that you won't be able to see all your other failures. Yeah, so I think now it's time to like make something of these macros. Cool. Like start pulling out a spec framework. V minimal so far. Okay, so we got this much. Now, really what I care about is like, so it is only going to be run inside of a context where it's got some, like there's some like name has to be defined here, right? And yeah, okay. And like kind of the same goes for like describe, huh? All right, let's call this like nested describe. And this is going to be like, I don't know, a new name, like name suffix, description, like suffix, and then body. And then here, like what do we need to configure is like what we got, like our current description. Set to name. We want to set like describe to like nested describe. And then we want to insert internal. Yeah. And then it's going to call it describe, which gets like rerouted back to this. I don't know if this is even valid syntax. That might like blow up because we're clobbering ourselves, but we'll see. Okay, but then in this context where we've inserted internal, we can say that this nested describe is going to say that like description here is going to be, oof, okay, are these now all going to have to be compiler constants for me to do this the way that I want to? I guess they will always be. Why does everything I write in this language turn into this like compiler time mess? Yeah? That's gonna be a problem. I think I'm gonna get rid of this and just start saying that like here, I'll call these like nested describe for now. I'll come up with a better name in a bit. Okay, so we got a description. This one knows that it's only run from within a spot with a description. I wonder if we can be confident that's a constant. Okay, and then we're gonna insert internal body here. Description and I don't know. Description suffix again. And then I guess I just want to print like and here we just like insert. And then expect is just going to do an assert. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Missing semicolon. While expanding it. sprintf. What is this? C? Strings.j. Okay, cool. Hey, that worked pretty well. All right. And just to double check, I'm almost certain this isn't going to work. Yeah, but I wonder if I could do that? Hey, that's great. Okay, they don't have to be constants. Get that out of here. Get this out of here. Get this out of here. Okay, strings.j has prefix with valid prefix is true. Awesome. Okay, so now really what I want to do is just return whether or not they match. But this has to be expanded, and I need maybe I'll say this. Okay, expect is not going to be a macro, and it's going to take a value in a matcher. It's going to return nothing. It will call a match function. Matches? Let's say matches. And this will take a value of type value. And we're going to return value equals matcher.value. Great. Okay. And here we'll, like, let's just like print if there's an error, right? What? What's wrong here? Base 31 undefined matcher. What? Shouldn't this work just fine? Do I need a type for this? Should this be like any? Who knows? How about that, huh? Not inside a macro. Strings has prefix. Why are we printing? Are we still printing? Get that out of here. Okay, and then if I change this to true, expected true got false. Awesome. I wonder if there's like a string coercion or something that we can mess with in here. Basic print formats. Tell me about these formats. Print style. Print float. I think the whole point was that you could like specify things, but like where do we call this from? Case float, print item to builder. Alright. If oh boy, this is tricky. If we've got a struct, yeah, we just print each member, huh? Dang, that's kind of a bummer. I was hoping there might have been like a computer thing. Oh well. Let me get over here. Maybe I'll just like print out like a type as well. Let's call it like matcher type. Yeah. Expected to equal matcher true. Got false. I'm gonna just call this to equal. Oh yeah, get that out of here. Okay, expected it to equal true. Got. I like it. I like it. This seems like fine. Yeah, that seems fine. That seems fine. We're close enough. Alright, but this should now be false. Okay, and now I think I'll pull out my other specs, right? It seems like it works well enough. Oh, but this still like blows up at the first, on the first failure, right? Oh no. That's interesting. Oh, cool. Yeah, great. Let me get back to base, and maybe I will have this like assert a failure. Yeah, okay, so like any failures gets false. And then in expect, I'll do this, and then this root describe here, I don't know. Yeah, man. But I think this means it'll only run through... What? Oh, I fixed the tests, didn't I? Right, like this expectation... Yeah. Expect equal true got false. That all works. Okay, but even if I just throw it in this root describe, we're still only gonna like, maybe I'll try like I will bring back like a verify. Let me try that. Yeah. I don't know. Let's try add build string. That seems like it kind of worked. But let's like break one of these. Make sure we got an error, we got an error, we got an error. Like, I guess I'm a little bit concerned that we might not like deterministically all like I guess I don't know semantically what it means to say that we add all these files and then only after they've all been added we add a run directive. Can we be certain that this run won't happen till after all the runs in each of these files? And I think intuitively it's got to run them in order, right? But I'm not certain. So let's just like see what happens though. Okay, nested describe is a terrible name. but I'll pause that for a sec. All right. I think I kind of want to like fail. Like, how can I tell what happened to the workspace? Like, is it on error I know that we failed, or can a compiler get like status? Is there really not like, I thought there was like a, like a status you could get. I thought there was. Man, I'd love it if I could have a status that I could use to test on. Here, no? Okay, I guess just like on error. Is this how this works? I always forget the syntax. Let's look at my build. Case dot semicolon. Great. Okay, so on an error, I want to like, I guess just like compiler report. Compiler error. On like the main workspace. Oh, these are deprecated. Use just compiler report. Okay, great. And then in complete, just break. All right, how does this work? How does this go? Case, oh, it's a semicolon? All right, it worked. And if I break the spec, assertion failed, default assertion failed, test failed. Great. Cool. Love it. Love it. And if I like break it in a more dramatic way, same thing. Cool. And you get useful errors. Great. Useful like ish. Useful enough. Alright, alright. That seems like something. Alright, let me like add some more stuff in here. Right, let me like pull this out. I think I'm going to delete some of this nesting because it's like not super helpful. I think like maybe I'll add like specify. Whatever. I'll say it's true for a valid prefix. Is false for an invalid prefix, and it is false with a prefix longer than the initial string. Like for a prefix longer than the initial string. Great, and just to make sure. Cool. Great, okay. Nested describe is like a bummer. I don't know, what's like a good word for this though? I wonder if I can say like describe as a locally bound thing gets nested describe. Like, is that legal? Nope. Oh, this still says nested though. Okay, okay, okay. I feel pretty good about that. Let me break one to make sure that I get the right error. Strings J has prefix failed. What about this? Oh, this should be insert internal. Strings.j has prefix is false for a prefix longer than the initial string. Failed. Expected it to go true, got false. Great. Love it. Seems like it works. I wonder if I can get rid of any of these. I don't know. Nope. Oh, wait. Yeah, this seems like a real syntax error situation, right? Yeah. Alright, that should pass, and it does! What's next? Alright, so we now run all the tests. We validate that they ran, we verify that they ran and succeeded. We have describes well nested. I do think it's kind of like a bummer that this like whatever. Run all specs, even if like allowing multiple failures. You know, it's too bad we can't say context because it is like a nice kind of like scenario. Scenario is sometimes a useful one. Maybe I'll go for scenario. You can call scenario the same as nested describe. It's cute. It'll be nice. Okay, let's pull some more specs in, huh? See where we get. We're not like using, there's like a ton of stuff that I found super helpful that we're not using, like before hooks and after hooks, and we'll get there. So describe has suffix. Okay, so for each of these, we want to do the same kind of thing. So we say like it is that, and then these become expects, and these become to equal something, and this one should be is true for a valid suffix. This should be true for, I don't know, let's call this like single character. A valid multi-character suffix. I feel like this one is sort of overkill at this point. It was just the actual use case that I was developing this utility for. Oh, hey Davros. Describe, is that a function called at program start time? Oh yeah, this one up here. Yeah, so I'm working on like a spec, like a testing library. I don't know if you've ever like played with played with like specking libraries in general. Like RSpec is one of my favorites in Ruby, but there's like I think Jasmine follows a similar approach in JavaScript. It's generally like a pretty high level language thing because you write these sort of nested expressive test structures. But yeah, I don't know. I got into it and I realized that like my test scripts were like cute and tiny, and like this was all the code I needed to write to get some tests to run. But they were also not like excellent. So I'm trying to rewrite this as like a spec pattern, where each spec is going to build up this like block of descriptions. And for now, it just like looks like a little bit worse, but is maybe slightly more descriptive than what I had before. But yeah, the point of this is that I'm basically writing like a test script. Yeah, so these will be run at compile time. Although you might think that like maybe what you'd really want to do is have these describes like mutate and like build up a structure of tests to be run that are all like run at the end. Yeah, I don't know what hash test looks like in Rust. It's pretty hard to Google, isn't it? Is it like, yeah. Right. I mean, this sounds just like regular like unit test libraries. So there's like a different philosophy for specs versus tests, which is like only slightly expressed here, which is that like generally you want to write your specs as the series of like expectations or like specifications, where you say that like what I care about, I'm caring about these like strings. I'm describing this procedure called has suffix, and I'm then like describing a specific case of has suffix to make sure that like its stuff makes sense. Where one thing that I find is that these function names are almost never descriptive enough, and like it works is like not descriptive at all. So if you're an engineer coming back to maintain some code and you're like testing which like this is a joke, right? But like this could be like performs basic arithmetic or something, and it would be more helpful. But generally, I find this is like a better way for like self-documenting code. That if you write your specs using a pattern like this one, it's I find it much easier to like return to the specs and like understand what happened. An invalid suffix. Like here I am like this had been, I don't know if I still have it on screen. Like I had this had suffix text, which like maybe this is a simple enough case that it's like very obvious these constants that I'm comparing meet and fail to meet the criteria. But like there's nothing here about like why these four are these two duplicative? I don't know what's going on. I don't think it has much to do with the lack of types. I think it's just like a different paradigm, right? And I think this one is just like more descriptive, and I found it makes things more manageable in the long term. I wonder if there's like an RSpec rest like specs. Nope, nope, probably not. Maybe if we go like, oh, this maybe? This is probably something else entirely. Yeah, this seems wrong. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, this is neat, right? I wonder what this looks like. Ooh, yeah, this is pretty tricky. So everything is all namespace like this. But yeah, you could do it in Rust, except you have to specify so much, which sounds about right. Um, but yeah, it lets you like build in these hooks. It lets you do like good things, and like mainly it means that like there's like good language to put in whenever you've got a specification and you always have some like human language describing why you care about this one thing. Um, I find it useful. I find it nice. Like Ruby, Rails actually in particular ships by default with this framework called Minitest, which is like entirely adequate and probably very similar to this, right? It's just it runs a bunch of functions, you build in your assertions. I just almost always find that like a little bit more structure and a little bit more like demand of English to describe the behavior that you're testing almost always leads to more maintainable code for me. Like in particular, here, this is like a great example I'm encountering now. Um, Previously, this was like an interesting test case that I was worried about, like an out of bounds exception, that like I intentionally wanted to make sure to test an invalid suffix, which is longer than the target string here, to test if this string contains that suffix. But there's no way to put here. I guess I could have added a comment or something. Like it could have just like described it. But in this language, it's like, oh, what's the point of this test? Well, I want to make sure this thing returns false for a suffix longer than the initial string. And like I find this to be just like a much more valuable testing artifact than this one. Also, like, I had to scrutinize, like, this first test case is really not interesting. Like, the single character isn't any different than this. It's just this is the test I happened to write first, and I was like, that's kind of boring. I'll add more interesting ones. But yeah, now I think I have like a much richer artifact for maintaining my code in the future. Oh, and my stuff broke. And then this is pretty cute, right? So strings.j has suffix is false for an invalid suffix, failed. Expected it to equal false, got true. I really should print out line numbers and stuff, shouldn't I? I wonder if that's easy. But alright, is false for an invalid suffix. Is this one? Oh yeah, because I had, this is like another thing. Like, I find that like this 2 equal false is much more readable than this like sneaky bang. Yeah, my test pass. Great. Okay, I'm gonna keep on going. Tagged unions. Oh yeah, I mean, you mentioned that I think the other day when we talked before, and sure, right? Like more expressive code is definitely awesome, and like tagged unions in particular, pattern matching in general, really good stuff. But like you still need tests, and like whenever I'm writing tests, I just find this to be a much more useful artifact for maintaining things into the future. I don't love all these hash code things everywhere. But yeah, I mean, I'm totally with you on like tagged unions. Everything I've read about them, like I mean, it sounds a lot like I haven't played with them, but I played a lot with Swift enums, and like even like Elixir types follow a similar pattern matching like structure, where like Elixir and Erlang types are all just like dynamic. You just like pass these atoms around at runtime and try to match them against each other. And yeah, like it's just like it's like much harder to write a bug with that approach, but I think it's also valid to just like sometimes you need like a unit test, sometimes you need like an integration test, because like there's always going to be stuff that escapes the like type system, right? It's impossible to, it's like a Turing problem. You can never have a fully comprehensive bug-free type system. All right, let's look at slice. Okay. So I want to specify it something, and I want that, and I want slices. Returns a single character, or like the first, I don't know. And it returns a multi-character string for a range with different start and ends. And then I thought I had one where I made like an invalid. Yeah, I should test that as well. Oh yeah, but it's hard to catch like a negative assert. That was something I was thinking about. Like I wonder if it's a good idea to like stub assert in this case. You know? These both want to be expect. That's maybe like a fun matcher to write. Maybe I'll try to build that matcher. Make sure these pass first. Cool. And then maybe I'll try to like stub assert. That sounds neat. That sounds tricky. Let's do it. Base. Now what do I care about? It's like if I have a code, and the matcher is like to assert, maybe? I don't know. Let's think about this for a sec. I think the code I'd like to be able to write is it asserts when the range start is less than 0. Yeah, like that's something I care about. And then I want to like expect to assert like anything. Let me just like copy in the actual error that I'm gonna raise, but like, I don't know, out of bounds. Yeah, maybe I'll just call it like to assert for now. I'll get to more interesting stuff later. So we'll call to assert is now a struct with no type or anything. It's just empty, but it needs to have a type. Okay, but if I got a to assert matcher, then I'm gonna let's call this body like usual. I'm going to say assert is gonna be like something else. Dang, how's this gonna work? Because like we don't have closures. Uh-oh, am I gonna run into a wall here? Maybe read this like file visit stuff. right? Okay, so it declares this info. Right, but it wasn't like visit files. It's like visit files gets consumed somewhere interesting. Yeah. No. It's in here. File list. Uh-huh. I don't know, let's just call assert something here. And let's call it like error. Oh yeah, but it's not gonna be able to capture. I don't know. What happens here? What's this gonna do? And then here I want to if asserted return. Otherwise I want to say to assert something got no assert. Description match. Oh no, I don't have anything in the matcher. That's all right. Yeah. All right. I'm sure this won't work. What am I looking for here? Oh, right, yeah. This has to return a to assert. Expect that to assert. It asserts that. Expect procedure calls missing argument matcher. Am I returning a matcher here? Oh, I see. I think I probably need like brackets around this much. Okay, that felt closer. Semicolon, sure. Yeah. Attempt to use a variable from an outer stack frame. I don't know. Maybe I'll do this. Nope. I wonder if there's like a correct way to do this. Ooh, I know. Like that? Okay. Hmm. Yeah, because it's going to be, man. Okay. Alright, what went wrong here? Seems like I hit the assert. It's actually no good. And how do we call assert here? Oh, I see. I need like more. Alright, so the actual assert that I make looks like this. And really, it's like a Boolean condition. And then some like error. And then some like args, any. But I'm not actually going to consume these. Okay, and what I want to say is asserted equals asserted or condition. Right? Okay, that sounds good. This seems like this could work. This could work. Nope. Undeclared identifier asserted. Really? How do I want to do this? Oh, I see. Was that it? No, it actually hit the assert again. Maybe this is a tough one. I wonder if stubborn covered this. What have we got? What have we got? Matchers. Has count contains in any order is. That's not great. Seems like pretty close like to something that could work. Maybe I'll keep barreling down this course and see what I can find. Alright, what I want to do here is to say expect asserted internal on body. And what I want to say here is like assert is going to equal. Why did I delete all that? I wanted that stuff. Okay. Do that and then insert internal body. Right? Oops. And make sure that we even called this code. Nope. I wonder if assert is just not something you can do this with. Oh. Okay. Oh, I see. I gotta insert internal that. Okay. Well, okay. Great. Am I still hitting this in insert internal? A non-constant. Oh. Yep. I'm getting myself very confused here. We hit an actual... Expected it to assert, got none, and if I flip this to negative something, I'll hit the actual assertion still. You know, I think you probably just can't overload assert this way? I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe assert is like fancier? It's because it's like inlined, or... Ooh, collar location seems cool though. That's fun. But yeah, that's still no good. Man, I'm stumped. Maybe I'll give up on specking assert for now. I don't know. Will this help? No. I feel like there's got to be some way that you could just like override a symbol this way. I just don't know it. It sure seems like this assert should like clobber a containing one, except for the fact, like, I don't know, maybe if I give it an inline and like a location equals collar location and stuff. Make it match that this like interface as like much as possible. Just make it like exactly the same. Yeah, it still doesn't like mine. I could traverse the body. No. That doesn't sound good. Oh, and you know what? I bet this doesn't even help because this doesn't like globally change what assert does. It's just gonna yeah. I think I know what's happening here. Is I bet that like right like the code that we've inserted is like a function call during which like right if we were to like assert here like and then like change this to 0. I bet like this passes. Nope. Oh yeah, that's fair. Whatever. I think we're getting closer. Like false. Yeah, or like we made it into here, and now we're good. But the problem is that we want to change the behavior of assert inside of this implementation of slice. And like to change this assert, right? Like this is not a macro. This is not like a code block that we're injecting. This is not anything. It's like a so we need to like globally rebind assert temporarily only for the duration of this expect block, which is a thing that's pretty easy to do like in Ruby, but might be impossible and is almost surely a bad idea throughout here. So that's too bad. But you know what we might be able to do is, well, so this is something we could be like, oh, there's like context dot assertion failed. Oh, it's like built into the language. Incredible. How do I push this? Amazing. I'll just like push a new context with an assertion failed in there. Okay, well, yeah. This is suddenly much easier. Okay, so to assert this is all great. Let me simplify a lot of this. Cool. Get rid of that. Alright, and so what I want to do here is just like push a new context. Am I doing anything with the context? No. Man, I always forget about contexts. That's not quite what I want. Okay, new context, copy, new context, context. And then new context dot, what am I looking for? Assertion failed? Yeah. Cool. And what does this look like? What does my assertion handler look like? It's like a constant in here. Okay, great. So I'll say, I'll do this for now, like, expected assert, like, assert, whatever, did assert during expectation. And this I'm going to call right. Okay, and that takes a location and a message. Neat. I'll loop back around to that probably. But let me grab these. And I'm going to use them. And then I will push context. this becomes if did assert during expect. What do we got? Okay. Oh, next. Almost. Hey! Expected it to assert, got none. That's what I wanted. And what happens in the spec? This is 0, this should be -1. Oh. Slice asserts when the range start is less than 0 failed. Expected it to assert, got none. Line 34, character 7. Oh. Why didn't that work? What are we doing? We got here. What? Does expect need to, like, return true? It needs to set any failures to true. Oh, and you know what? I think, context can take, like, user data, can't it? Uh-oh, this is worrying. Seems all wrong. Right, but, like, what is this type? Got it. Okay, you can add context. It did assert during expect. It's a Boolean, and it'll default to false. Then in here, do that. And we'll say context that did assert during expect gets true. And then here, this will be new context dot that. How about that? Hey, everything is great. Try again. It blows up. Tests failed. slice asserts when the range started less than 0, failed, expected it to assert, got none. Online 34. All right, what a working test. What a setup. What an assertion we have now. Okay. I'm gonna pause. What have we got? Mess with the context. Mess with a nested describe. Oh, scenario. I forgot I added that. I'm not consuming it. I'm going to delete that for now. Cool. 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 Amazing. Let me actually get rid of slice test. All right. This feels like kind of neat. I think I've only got a little while left before I got to run. I think maybe I'll finish this. Ooh, you know what? I also want to assert when the range end is less than the start. Make sure that, like, if we're trying to pull from character like 1 to character 0, it blows up. That shouldn't be allowed. Great. Love it. Okay, and then yeah, let's do join test, and then I think I get out of here. Describe. All right, describe it. Joins. Oh, you know what? I should probably make sure that it asserts as well with when the range end is greater than the string length. Should it assert in this case? What should it do in this case? Right, if end index and less than source.count. Yeah, right, if you try to pull too much, it'll blow up. It shouldn't. Maybe I can change this later, but it asserts something greater than the string length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's call it. Even just like 11 should probably blow up, right? Uh-huh. 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 But 12? But 10? Great. Cool. Love that. Alright, now let's get back to describe join. Look at how descriptive these are. Love it. Alright, so join, it joins components with a comma when no joiner is specified. Expect. Oh no, I don't have to do a code here. Okay, so expect join on an array of, right, this is what I said last time. Hello to all my viewers. To equal this thing. Cool. And then it joins components with banana when, or whatever, using a specified. Alright, so still that, but this time with banana to equal this banana thing. Banana, 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 banana. Alright, and let's run it, and it blew up. Because I need commas. It still blew up. Yeah, okay. Man, arrays are hard, huh? Let's try this. Let's try strings to join. Gets an array of 5 strings, and just like grab each of them. Oops. Okay, whatever. Alright. This should work, right? Oh. Up, up, up. Where do I have string dot? Oh, I cut that out there? Was that the whole problem? Dang it. Oh, do these declarations not like make it through to here? Really? Oh, do I want to do... I think I want... How do I like... Well... I think I want to like undo this whole thing. But I'll like comment this all out. Okay, the string literals work. I was like confused about this bug. But I think maybe this is like, it's time for like a let expression. So let's try that, huh? Let's see. How's that gonna work? You know what? I think I'll think about let later. I have a couple more tests. Can delete the test code from here. Great. Cool. Production code in one file, test code in the other file. Feeling good about this project. And let's call it think about better testing. That's done, and that's done. Oops. All right. Okay, cool. I feel pretty good about this. So let's see. Now inside of JPostgres, I have... Oh no, that's the wrong repo. I wanted JRecord. Inside of... In JRecord, I've got some JSpec business. Cool. And I can run my specs, and I love it. All right. Well, this is an eventful day. Thanks to all the viewers out there. But I think I'm about to check out. Gonna, I don't know, do some chores, run an errand, go to a dinner. Thanks for joining. Bye, everybody.